Hey, good evening, everybody. This is Kent from Razor's Sharpening. Today, I just had a request to do like how I do some bevel shears. So this is a pair of bevel shears that has been around for this stylist for quite some time, and she is pretty sentimental to her. So what we're gonna do is, you can see how they have a bevel bevel edge there. They're a little loose on the tension, so what I'm going to try to do is adjust that, see if we can get that a little tighter. Also, let's see how they're cutting on. We'll go with, let's see here. So they're cutting at the bottom and then they're catching on the top. So I'll do a wet test too. Let's see how they're doing here. My guess is obviously, so same thing. Okay. Go crud out of here. See if we can clean up some of this a little bit. Get some of that rust out of there. Now I checked, the nut on this is actually quite tight. So what I might try to do, put a drop of oil in here, see if we can actually adjust the tension just a little bit. Go with flathead. And that's going to be too big. So see if we can go with a smaller screw in here and try to tighten that up. That's still loose, but a little bit better than it was. That screw is in there pretty firmly, actually. Put a little bit of mineral oil in there, trying to. Alright. That's a little too tight, actually. I want to bring it up to that point where, you can actually. Proper tension for a shear is you want just for it to go to about to fall, but not, let's see, a little bit more. What you want is you want it to come down. When it's coming down, you want it to hold. And that's actually too much. It's amazing, just a little bit of a turn. All right, that's much better. Let's see if it cuts any differently. I don't think it will, but we can try. We're actually getting about another 1/4 inch, maybe 3/8 of an inch cut up the paper now, so that's good. All right, so our tension's a little bit better. Now, this shear seems to, I believe, have a much steeper angle than I believe. Let's color it in. I'm going to guess that's corrugated on that side too. So if it's corrugated, hear that? So we're going to sharpen this side. Got that colored in. Perfect. I'm thinking it's more of a 25-degree angle, but I could be wrong. So let's set our clamp here for 25 degrees. Looks like somebody actually went pretty hard on those, on that side. That it looks like it was corrugated at one point. All right, get this locked in here pretty good. Looks like somebody might actually try to work the underside of this shear a little too hard as well. See a lot of wearing in there from what looks like it might have been a stone. Alright, I remarked it again, so I want to try it one more time and see how it's going. I'm going to put a little pressure here. Let's see if that's giving us... Looks like that last sharpener took it at about... feeling anything like a burr there, so let's try it a little bit more. Looks like there's been multiple bevels put on this thing. Feeling a little bit of a burr, but not much. Alright, let's take it out of the clamp. I'm just going to knock the burr off a little bit. Okay, I'm going to see if it's still cutting. Felt a little bit of the burr not go. Alright, that's better. Other side's corrugated, so I'm not going to sharpen that because there's barely any corrugation left on it. So let's try a little bit of water here. That was a worn 400 disc too, so that was a pretty worn disc. I mean, it's cut and clean. I like to put like a nice little finish on it. Okay, final test is, let me get some real hair here. Alright. I mean, it's cutting pretty clean. Tips are cutting clean. Try not to put too much tension on this. All right, we're getting a clean cut. Let's do one more disc. Do like a 1200 blue here. Okay. Clean this up a little bit. Actually, I'm gonna need a new pad or a different pad. Always looking. All right, this 1200's it's had a few shears on it, but nothing too bad. Let me readjust here for you. Okay. So we kept it at, it's at a 25 degree. Sorry, you gotta watch me lock this in one more time. I had a request to do this because a stylist actually wanted me to show you. She's like, well, what do you have shear? What if you have like a bevel shear that doesn't need a convex edge and that's an older shear and it's rusted shut? She had a similar shear basically like this, and this was a perfect opportunity to show this video. See, I got a little bit at the tip there. Gotta get that. Alright, shear's not too hot, so I don't want to overheat it. But there's a little bit of demarcation I did not get up there. I want to get a little bit of that left. Still there. There we go. That's much better. All right, cool. Let's knock the burr off. All right, take these out of the clamp. Get another piece of test media here, which is our handy dandy dollar store paper towel. Cuts much smoother still. You can feel the corrugations, so that's good. Okay. All right, one more test and okay. cutting beautifully. All right. These are all set to go. Came out beautiful. And all right. Thanks for watching.